Hello, here we are ready to carve. I've got the piece mounted on my vertical bench. Before I start, I've really got to be clear about what I'm doing. So let's just have a little think a moment. This up here is certainly going to be a high spot, somewhere around about here. And it's going to be falling away and down here like this. And you can use your hands to sort of get a sense of where this is going to go. This shell must be further forward than the whole body here. So really, before I can do anything else, any shaping, the whole of this section must come back probably a good quarter, if not a third of the way. So this tentacle here, this eye stalk, it will be a bit further back than the edge of this shell. So remember too that this edge is going to go right back here in this angle. So again, there's a lot of thick wood in here we must take away first. But I'm going to start over here on this side for the moment. Now here's where we start to lose our drawing, because the tail has to be down there as well, so that must come off. What's going to happen at some point, as I come round, there'll be a point, like a horizon, behind which I want to go. So I'm heading this down to a point where we will go underneath. So I'm coming down here and across the tail. I'm sort of making this quite a big blob here. Again, from the high spot, down and over. I'm going to stop there for the moment on that bit of shell. I'm going to redraw my lines. I know this is sort of around here, and I know that the shell itself is coming over here. It's a nice reference point there, and it comes over. But I do need to do a bit more on this side here, because this is relative to that. So one thing I would like to say is that this line here actually is the middle of the head, the body of the snail. Anatomically, so it does form a very nice sort of part of the watershed where the top of the snail will be falling this way and that way, and it will come sort of up here like that. That will be the center line of the snail. So even now I'm trying to find that as I go along. So I'm going to take this back now so that this then sticks out more. Now I know that I'm going to lose at least a third of this height here, and I guess I could have, if I'd been clever, glued it up with thinner wood, but all this has to go at least like that. And I'm going to show you a quick way of getting rid of this wood using a saw. What we need to do is put cross cut like this down to the line. So there'll be one like this across the wood like this, down to the line, and then we'll be able to cut it away. So I'll start this off, but actually this is a very awkward way for me to hold it vertically. So I'm going to drop the bench back, ask Carrie to pause a moment. I'm going to make a series of saw cuts like that across the grain and then bring it back up. Once I've got my saw cuts in, I take a nice wide flat chisel. I can start knocking these bits off. Very satisfying. Once I've got that more or less down to the level I want, I can now start rounding this over and back to where I was. So now again I've come round to here, and I can start rounding over the body. So if you remember, there is this central line which we don't have to draw, but we need to be aware of. That forms a sort of watershed. So this eye stalk is going to go further back. This one we're going to keep at this level, so we won't take wood away from here, but we're pushing all that back there. Now here we're coming to the change of the grain. You can see that this has split off here, showing it's going in this direction. This is downhill in this way, and this is downhill this way. Now if I proceed, I'm likely to break some of that off. So I'm going to, as soon as that happens, I'm not going to persist. I'm going to come to this side, and I'm going to push it this way into the mass. I'm leaving it quite a chunk. That's about 25 millimeters an inch square there for the moment. So then here we can come over the grain, going across it. Okay, this is a fairly decent first pass, so we'll just pause there for a minute. So at this stage I've got a big piece here for the shell, and I can see the shell is going to come round here like this. The sort of high spot of the shell is still here, but that's got to be changed. But the center line of the shell is coming down here, and eventually it's somewhere like this between this back eye stalk and this front one, and it's starting to fall away like this.